Right, just wanted to do that exercise as a way of revision. Okay, come back to these terms in a second. Just to call your attention then here to the essential idea and the nature of science. So this part, this topic, we're going to spend the next we'll spend 4 lessons on this topic total, and it'll be the next basic 4 Tuesdays. Okay, before moving on to our final topic, which would be the kidney. And then we're done for all the kind of core and advanced high-level stuff. Okay, so essential idea then here is that sexual reproduction involves the development and fusion of haploid gametes. I could have put gametes on our word wall here, but can you guys remember what's a gamete? Yeah, so it's a haploid cell that does what? Used in what process? Sexual reproduction, yeah. Okay, so haploid cell used in sexual reproduction. Okay, can you give me some examples? Yeah. Sperm, yeah. Eggs, and what if you're a plant? Yeah. Begins with P. Pollen? Oh, yeah. Okay, pollen, it carries the male gamete in plants. Okay, so gametes, haploid cells used in sexual reproduction then. So sexual reproduction involves the development and the fusion of haploid gametes. Okay, what happens when so we have the fusion of gametes, also known as fertilization. What does that form? What type of cell does that form? Zygote, good, yeah. Okay, great. Zygote. Okay, we'll talk about all those different terms. Okay, nature of science. So science assessing risks and benefits associated with scientific research. So the risk to human male fertility was not adequately assessed before steroids related to progesterone and estrogen were released into the environment as a result of the use of the female contraceptive pill. Okay, so obviously it has impacts in terms of water supply. On male fertility. All right, so hello, I'm offline apparently, so that's not going to work. Okay, first part then, gametogenesis, another lovely word for you. Gametogenesis. At the back of your workbook, I've put a space for a glossary, so you might want to just add these terms in as we go through it. Gametogenesis. Any idea what that sounds like, might mean?
Sounds like the gamete and genetic.
Sounds like genetic, yeah, it's got the same kind of root. Genesis replies to, think of the biblical story of Genesis. It's the story of... Guys, come on. You don't have to be, religious to know that story. Huh?
Maybe we know it.
Story of creation. Okay, so gametogenesis. Genesis is creation. Gametogenesis. Creation of gametes. Yeah. So the process of creating. The process of creating gametes. Okay. So gametogenesis. 2 types. All right. Now the 2 awesome words. Spermatogenesis and oogenesis. Okay? Yeah, here. Yeah. Spermatogenesis and oogenesis. So spermatogenesis would be... Yeah, okay, spermatogenesis, okay, is the process of creating sperm cells. Process of creating sperm cells. And oogenesis. Yeah, of egg cells. Oogonia. Okay, it's egg cells. So this is the process of creating egg cells. Okay. Yeah, pop those into your glossary at the back for now. Okay, so gametogenesis, spermatogenesis, and oogenesis. So that's, yeah, exercise 1 I've put here is just to define gametogenesis, spermatogenesis, and oogenesis in your glossary. So we've done that for you. Then we're going to look at the 2 processes in a second. Okay. Let's just have a look at the understanding one here. Spermatogenesis and oogenesis both involve mitosis, cell growth, the 2 divisions of meiosis, and differentiation. Okay, so let's start with mitosis then. What did you come up with as a definition for, or a revision for mitosis? Thanks. I'll leave it on the board. For mitosis.
Mitosis, we said the cell division that forms genetically identical diploid cells.
Okay, cool. So this is a cell division that creates 2 genetically identical cells. Okay. Can anybody, as we're getting close to the exams, obviously I'm trying to throw a bit more revision in there, but can anybody tell me what topic we covered cell or mitosis in? So this is topic 1.6. Okay, so we covered that in the syllabus in detail. All right. So this is the application of. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we looked at the cell cycle. Yeah, we talked about the cell cycle. So interphase, mitosis, and cytokinesis. Okay, and covered mitosis there. Okay. So when we're talking about spermatogenesis and oogenesis, you should be thinking about the cell cycle. Yeah. All right. So what's happening in the production of eggs and sperm? Okay. We're talking about starting with some type of stem cell that's undergoing mitosis to produce lots and lots and lots of other cells that can then undergo meiosis to form our gametes. Okay, so bear that in mind. Be thinking about the cell cycle. Be thinking about prophase, metaphase, anaphase, and telophase. Yeah. Okay, and then cytokinesis and interphase. Okay. So both these processes involve mitosis, and then the 2 divisions of meiosis. So how do we define meiosis? You got a pretty good definition, I seem to remember.
The division from diploid to haploid.
Yeah, so this is I'm going to put it above it, the reduction division. Good. Of a diploid cell. Diploid cell to 4 haploid daughter cells. All right. Covered in, if I can remember, what was it topic 3. I want to say 2. I'm not entirely convinced that's right. It's definitely topic 3. You guys remember? Meiosis, yeah. It's in topic 3. I think it was 3. I think it was 3.2. I'm just going to double check. Our online guide. Topic 3. 3.1 genes. 3.2 is correct. 3.3. So we covered this in topic 3.3. Right. What processes can you remember from meiosis? What are the kind of key terms you think then? So if in mitosis we had things like prophase, metaphase, anaphase, telophase. We had the cell cycle. We had cytokinesis. What would you think would be the key ideas when we cast your mind back?
Metaphase.
Yeah, so we've got
Anaphase, telophase.
Yeah, so we've got PMAT again. 1 and 2. So there's 2 divisions. Yep. Anything else? What was special about meiosis? What does it do?
Crossing over.
Good. So we've got crossing over that leads to genetic recombination. Okay, can you describe what happens in crossing over?
Oh, that's that word. Well, the alleles switch from homologous chromosome?
Yeah, so we have this idea of sister chromatids within the same chromosome, and non-sister chromatids that are on homologous pairs. They're on, non-sister is chromatid on the homologous pair, and the non-sister chromatids become tangled, and they exchange sections of their chromosomes. So you get the recombination of genes from one chromosome in the homologous pair to the other chromosome. So you get swapping of genetic material between the chromosomes. Okay, that promotes variation because it changes in your body effectively in the gametes you're producing, or that you've produced. If you're a girl, you've actually produced them before you were born. Those gametes, what your body's done is actually mixed the chromosomes you got from your mum and your dad. You've inherited one chromosome from your mum and one from your dad, and then in the formation of your own gametes, you have swapped. Your body has swapped genetic material from your two parents. Okay, so the chromosomes you pass on will be mixtures. Each chromosome will be a mixture of the stuff that you've got from your mum and your dad. Kind of crazy to think about. Yeah. There's another process though. So crossing over and genetic recombination there's another process called, do you remember, independent assortment? Can you remember what that was?
Chromosomes line up equator independent of each other.
Yeah. So this idea that we've got what we're doing in the first division of meiosis is we're splitting the homologous pairs and to opposite sides of the cell. So let's think about chromosome 1. You've got 2 copies of it. Okay. They can either be orientated in this way or this way around. Okay. You've got 23 pairs. So you can have, if this side's come from your dad, this side's come from your mum. Each one, at each stage, you could have any orientation of those chromosomes. So again, you're shuffling the chromosomes that you've inherited from your parents into different sides of the cell, which then get separated out into the different gametes. So some of the gametes you produce have some of your mum's chromosomes and your dad's chromosomes kind of mixed together, and different combinations of those gametes. Okay.
But to begin with, you have all 23 chromosomes together.
They're just kind of randomly in the nucleus. It's just the idea that there isn't a set. They don't all line up. Mum's on this side, dad's on this side. They just they line up in any which way. Okay, so when you separate off those homologous pairs, if you might get the chromosome that you've inherited from your mum, chromosome 1, being siphoned off with the chromosome you inherited from your mum for chromosome 2, but the chromosome you inherited from your dad for chromosome 3. Bearing in mind this has happened after genetic recombination, so the genes have been shuffled between these anyway. Okay.
Is it possible that you would just get all the chromosomes from one parent?
Yeah, theoretically, but what would the chances of that be? We did this calculation last year, do you remember? So if you've got, it's 2 to the power 23 for that to happen.
But then also they would need to not have crossing over.
Yes, there would have to be no crossing over, which is basically not going to happen. And it answers your question, yes, it could happen, but the chances of that actually happening are incredibly slim. Zero. Basically. Yeah.
How come?
But yeah, in terms of statistics, yeah, you could have it. That's just one possibility out of the. I think we calculated. I can't remember exactly, but it's something like 8 or 9 billion different possibilities. You have to say you have to have like 9 billion children before you have the chance of having 2 that were the same. Unless you had identical twins, of course. I mean, there's always caveats in biology, right? Sorry, Antoine, you were going to say?
Yeah, how come crossing over happens? Like, is it just part of how things work? Or?
Yeah, it is. Why does it happen? It happens. The whole point of sexual reproduction, the formation of gametes, is to increase genetic variation.
I mean, yeah, I get the point.
And if you think about the fact that the DNA inside the nucleus is kind of just, it's not organised most of the time, it's just sort of tangled up. So as it becomes organised, it gets mixed, it gets caught together, and that causes DNA to be swapped between the chromosomes.
You would think it would mess everything up. But
well, yeah. So you do also get there. I was reading about some genetic diseases are caused by this kind of phenomenon happening where a gene is moved, is translocated from one chromosome to another, and it gets like switched off in the process. Okay, but I'm assuming that in terms of production of gametes, there's a whole host of enzymes that are repairing this process, to make sure that that you're not deleting. But yeah, if again, another surprising fact is that most pregnancies actually naturally terminate within the first 3, are unsuccessful within the first 3 months. In terms of all the number of fertilization events, okay, it's actually relatively rare for that zygote to go all the way through to full term. Many pregnancies will miscarry before the 3-month mark.
But
And that's because there can be a huge amount. There's a lot that can go wrong genetically and biochemically.
But at 3 months, it doesn't look like a fetus. Yeah. Or...
Depends what you mean by looks like a fetus. It's the size of a grain of rice.
All right. So
Yeah.
women don't notice.
You would not necessarily know.
You normally know if you're pregnant at 3 months.
Yeah, I mean, I'm talking from personal experience, right? You not everybody. There are surprising stories of some people giving birth without even realizing they were pregnant, right? I don't know how much of an urban myth those are, but yeah, you would know because on the whole, because there would be missed periods and things like that. But like, I guess most people don't announce they're pregnant until they've got through the 12-week stage, till they got past 12 weeks, because it's only after that you can be more certain that nothing's going to necessarily happen. Yeah. So yeah, it is quite common, and that's to do with the fact that you've got a lot of crossing over. You've got there's lots of things that go wrong in the formation of gametes, and if you get a bad event, a bad fertilization event in terms of the genes, then that zygote's not going to be able to form an embryo. Okay, and it will eventually stop growing. Okay, so when we talk about meiosis, we've got to think about the terms haploid and diploid. So diploid cells, diploid. Remember, there was a question on your mock about this, wasn't there? Ploid refers to the number of chromosomes within a nucleus. Okay, so haploid is one copy of every chromosome in a cell. Diploid is 2 copies. Okay. We talked about triploid and tetraploid last week, so 3 copies, 4 copies. Sometimes in plants you get doubling of diploid cells to form tetraploid organisms that will form a whole new species. Okay, and then and we've got this final word here. So spermatogenesis involve mitosis, cell growth, 2 divisions, meiosis, and differentiation. So what do we get as a definition for differentiation?
Ability of cells to carry out different functions.
Not carry out the functions. So this is the process. I would write this down if you're not sure. The process of forming specialized cells. Now, what makes a cell become specialized?
Switching on of certain genes.
Well done, Izzy. Yeah, so this is to do with the turning on and off. Turning on or off of particular genes. Okay, so basically all the cells in your body contain the same DNA, same chromosomes, but what makes each of them different is that certain genes are expressed and other genes are not. Okay, cool. Okay, so understanding 2 processes in spermatogenesis and oogenesis result in different numbers of gametes with different amounts of cytoplasm. All right, what I'd like you to do now then, for the last 15 minutes, is I want you to get into the textbooks, read the sections on spermatogenesis and oogenesis, and I would like you to compare the processes. So what am I asking for when you're comparing the 2 processes? What things do you need to think about? Similarities and differences, okay? So, I'll start you off, okay? We can say that both spermatogenesis and oogenesis involve mitosis cell growth and 2 divisions of meiosis. Okay? So 10 minutes, and then we'll review that exercise at the end of class. Okay?